We may have another one that we won't know yet. So we'll now start with our sheriff's candidates. Again, all three candidates on the ballot for sheriff are here. And I will start the same format as before. Introduce yourself. You all have extensive law enforcement experience. What sets you apart? What's your background and why should you be elected sheriff?
Well, my name is Dennis Hutchinson, and it is a privilege to be here tonight to be able to address you along with Randy and Doug. I was raised in Hilliard, over by Evanston, Wyoming. Born in Evanston, raised in Hilliard on the family ranch, where we pretty much just learned to work and learned from my dad. Went to school in Evanston High School. Married my wife Starla. She's from Star Valley, Wyoming. We have 7 children, and we've been married for over 33 years. I do like a lot of outdoor type activities. My wife does have a small business that she runs. I help her when I can, and that's doing very well. I'm a graduate from the Wyoming Law Enforcement Academy. I have 28 years of law enforcement experience, 18 of those as a supervisor. Dare instructor and liaison for the Uinta County School District for over 11 years. Special response team leader, search and rescue supervisor. I'm also certified by the Wyoming State Search and Rescue, SR2 certified. Trained in incident command, emergency management through FEMA. I'm a graduate from the FBI Executive Command College. And also, of course, man patrol officer. You know, being a man patrol officer, that's a good thing, because it's always good to have 2 heads instead of 1. Also, AELE, which is Americans for Effective Law Enforcement. I'm a certified litigation specialist.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Doug Matthews. I am your current sheriff right now. I was born and raised in Evanston on the other side of the county. I've lived there all my life. My family has roots clear back to the early 1900s when they came over from England, and I appreciate the sacrifices that they made to come to America, and I benefit from those. I'm married. I have 4 children. Most of my children and grandchildren live in Evanston, and so I have a vested interest. I would say that I have as vested interest as anyone in this county about what happens and what goes on here. My mother was not so concerned with what we did as a career, but that we served other people. My father instilled a very strong work ethic in me. I believe in an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. I'm guided by a strong moral compass, and I always do the right thing. You know, as far as law enforcement goes, I have 36 years of law enforcement experience. We all have thousands of hours of experience and training in all different kinds of law enforcement. The last one was 4 years. I've been your sheriff, and we took the sheriff's department in a different direction. We've worked hard to make sure that we were community involved. Community policing to me is the most important thing. We have to be engaged with the community. We have to know, we have to have your eyes and ears to make us effective. You know, and so anything that we can do to make that more effective and be more engaged with the community. I mean, I'm at every Save Kids, their graduations. I went to every meeting on the Tokawana fires. I mean, I feel that I owe it to the residents of River Valley to be involved and engaged, and I do care about you. Thank you.
horse today. My name is Randy Chandler. I want to be the Uinta County Sheriff. I started my law enforcement career here in Lyman in 1983. In 1986, because I want, let me back up a little bit. I got into law enforcement because I wanted to serve the community. I wanted to make this a safer place for all of us to live and raise our children. And I wanted to touch people's lives and try to make a difference. I did that from 1983 to 1986 here in Lyman, and I thought, man, if I went to work for the county, I could touch more lives. There's more opportunity to meet more people and serve more people. So I've been at the sheriff's office since 1986. I've worked for 4 different sheriffs. I've stuck it out. I've been there, I think I'm the longest deputy that's been employed there currently. I've worked for 4 different sheriffs. I've seen what works and what does not work. And I've paid attention to that. Being the sheriff of Uinta County has been a goal of mine for a long time. I have my own ideas that I think I can implement into the sheriff's office and make things a little bit better and safer place for all of us to live. I live in Evanston now, so I've had an opportunity to work and on both sides of the county get to know a vast majority of the people in the county and what their needs and wishes are of what they want in the sheriff's department. I think I can provide that. I enjoy it. I've spent also 31 years in the fire service, both here in the valley and in Evanston. Very involved in the community with baseball, and I serve on the Predator Board and several other things. And I think the valley has been somewhat neglected in a lot of areas, and I know how that feels having lived out here in the valley and feel like you're an unwanted stepchild in the county sometimes in different aspects. I plan on dedicating a big portion of my time out here in the valley to meet people and the residents out here. Thank you.
I will recommend again to the 3 sheriff's candidates that you hold the microphone up close to your mouth, not down here, and you speak clearly. The next question, starting with Sheriff Matthews. Would you support and participate in personnel or in money, or both, in a Bridger Valley Unified Police Department? Why or why not? What else can be done to promote interdepartmental cooperation between the municipalities and the Sheriff's Office and sharing of resources?
Well, it's always important to be the most efficient, the best that we can. You know, it's a little bit more complicated than just saying that we can combine forces and make everything all hunky-dory and work just right. You know, as the sheriff, I see the things that are going on, and I'm concerned about it. You know, every request from Lyman and Mountain View on serious felony cases, we have taken, we have investigated, and we presented the cases to the county attorney. So as far as that goes, I believe we already are working together. There may be places that we can be a little more efficient and work together more. You know, whether it's the aggravated assault that was happening in Lyman, the child homicide death in Mountain View, we've always responded to the requests for assistance from Mountain View and Lyman, and we've always taken those cases and did our very best with them. You know, it comes down to the responsibility of the sheriff and taking on all that added responsibility. If I deputize everyone in the Bridger Valley, then that falls under my umbrella. I need to be involved in what training they have, how they're doing their jobs, how they're taking care of things. You know, I want things done right, and if it's under my umbrella, I need to make sure that they're done right. Thank you.
This is a really tough question. Am I holding this close enough that everybody can hear me? I'm trying to, but it's kind of awkward and it gets in the way. I have no qualms about combining services as long as it's done correctly. And like Doug just said, it does fall under his umbrella, and there's great concern there. But I think it's being done all around the country, and I think if it's done correctly, them concerns and stuff can be met and taken care of. With the budget constraints, you know, when I worked here in Lyman, it was back during the boom and bust, we had 9, 10 guys that worked for the town of Lyman. We had our own dispatch center. Times have been tough, we've had to whittle things down. Same with the sheriff's office, we've lost personnel due to budget constraints. I think now it's more important to rely on our brothers and sisters that wear the badge more than ever. Because like Commissioner Candidate Anderson said, sometimes we're out here by ourselves. Well, our nearest backup could be 30 minutes or more away, depending on where we're at and what we're handling. So I think the more that we work together with these other agencies, we train together, we know we get to know them on a better level, what their skills and capabilities are, and rely on each other a little bit more, I think we can provide a better service with what we've got, not bugging the commissioners all the time. We need more people, we need more people. When they can't pull a rabbit out of their hat, we have to make do with what we have.
Well, that is a very complex question and one that definitely needs to be answered. But there still has to, I think, be a lot of study and a lot of work behind this before we do move forward in such a broad move. As far as the sheriff's office and the municipalities working together, sharing and adding resources to solve crime or to prevent crime or for community involvement, that is a necessity. That is something that definitely has to happen. Open communication, working together, open meetings, all of that is essential. Focusing on what is important in the community, deciding on what should be first, where resources should be second and third. Those things are it's something that has to be done so logically, and take your time doing it. Don't do a rush job. So it is done correctly and right. The officers involved have to be involved in this discussion as well. They're the ones who are working it out together. The administration has to be, different administrations have to be working together well on this as well. I don't mean to be repetitive on that, but communication and officers working together, we've always done that. I think we have very well-trained, smart, intelligent people working with the sheriff's office, with the different police departments. That's possible. Now, am I for it? Yes, I believe I am for it, if it's done well and it's done correctly. Thank you.
Thank you. What do you consider to be the most pressing law enforcement issues in UNT County, and particularly in Bridger Valley? How do you plan on handling these challenges in the future?
Well, I could talk about this question for days, but to make that answer short and sweet, I think the drugs and alcohol abuse that goes on is a problem. And I plan on addressing that in many facets and ways, one through prevention, one through enforcement, and one through rehabilitation. I think we have to have them three things to address that. But I see that as the biggest problem. The other biggest problem I see as far as Bridger Valley specifically, like I said before, I know what it's like to be the deputy that lives out here in the valley and feel like somewhat of, no offense to anybody that has red hair, the unwanted red stepchild of the agency out here and not really know what's going on on the other side of the county in the office. That's why, again, I plan on, schedule permitting, spending as much time as I can out here in the Bridger Valley, making sure that your concerns and the problems and issues are addressed properly with the sheriff's office and do what we can. But I think the biggest issue right now is drugs and alcohol. It has to be combated on 3 fronts, and that's prevention, enforcement, and rehabilitation. I plan on not working in the office 9 to 5. I plan on being out in the community. I plan on being out at nights, sometimes, not all the time, but I plan on being out there. And I plan on spending a lot of time out here in the valley to address those issues. One of the biggest problems is budget constraints and manpower. And we'll address that with the commissioners, but like I said before, they can't pull a rabbit out of their hat. But I'll keep fighting. Thank you.
Thank you. There are so many issues that definitely need to be looked at. Drugs and alcohol problems and issues are a huge problem. Yes, we'll have a lot of budget cuts. Yes, we do have. We don't have the officers involved in the state level either that helps with the drug problem. Another focus that we need to really focus on is the rural agricultural areas. It used to be called the range program, where deputies were assigned specifically to the ranches to help them with all of their needs, all of the criminal things that happen out there as well. And I know that there's a lot of problems with budgetary issues, but there's also ways that we can hopefully work through this as well. Working with the commissioners, maybe there's a possibility of part-time work from retired law enforcement to work in this area. Another issue is working with our school districts. I would like to see a lot more participation and involvement with our officers in our school districts. Now, we do have the DARE program, yes, in both Evanston and the Bridger Valley area. But we also have so many other things that we can do there to have a presence for the safety, for the opportunity to help mentor kids, to keep a pulse on what's going on, to talk to the kids, but just to be there with them. The business district, we need to be there all the time, or as many times as possible, to keep the pulse on what's going on with them as well. Thank you very much.
Drugs and alcohol are by far the biggest problem that we face. If we had more money in the budget, we could put more officers on. We could have our DCI position with the Division of Criminal Investigation was cut through state funding. Nothing that we could do about that. So we don't have anybody on there. I've often joked that if we could get the drugs and alcohol under control, all we need is a few of us to write parking tickets. It's just so far ranging and affects so many people. I know that there's someone in every one of your families that has been touched by the drug epidemic. Fentanyl is the most powerful drug in the world. Nicotine is the most addictive. And so there's all of this in between. But I'm not naive enough to say that we can arrest our way out of it. We also have to have our drug court program, which I totally support. Our drug court program was the very first one in the state, and it's the model that the state follows now. So we put a lot of effort, a lot of people put effort into the drug court program. We do about 400 drug tests a month for drug court clients that are trying to get their lives straightened out and trying to do better. And so that takes effort from every one of us at the Sheriff's Office to do that. It's just, I wanted to say too, that as far as the Bridger Valley is concerned, I know you guys kind of feel like maybe you're left out a little bit, but I receive about 4 or 5 times the calls from Bridger Valley residents with concerns and things that are going on than I do from the other side of the county. So that tells me that you are involved, that you do care, and I've tried hard to answer every one of those questions and do what we could to address the issues. Thank you.
Next question. Trusted law enforcement is vital to a safe and prosperous community. How do you promote cooperation and trust with members of the community?
Well, I think that's a good question, and I think the answer to that is get involved. Be involved with the people. Not just when you're pulling them over and writing them a ticket or a warning for a tail light, headlight, speeding, whatever, but stop and visit with people. You know, when you're going in and out of the store, make it a point to stop by somebody's house if you see them out in their garden working, stop and say hello to them, get to know the people, and get involved in the different things in the community. You know, and this leads me to a question that I had earlier on by a gentleman about guns in schools. I'm not opposed to it, but I don't think it's the smartest thing in the world to do. You know, I think that might be a last-ditch effort. I'm saying we need to be in the schools. We need to be involved in our schools a little bit more and provide that safety and security to the children, to the ranchers out there since the range deputy program's gone away. I think that we can train all our deputies in the livestock laws and stuff and make them proficient in it so they can provide that service. And that's how you stay involved with that community and make them be readily available to those people so that they feel comfortable coming to you when they have a problem, or even when they don't have a problem, they can wave to you with all their fingers next time they see you. You know, you just have to get out and be personable with people and communicate with them and get to know them, and I think a lot of them issues will resolve themselves by getting involved. Thank you.
Well, definitely, that is huge. To have trust in the agency, your agency, that is essential. The thing that needs to be done, and that I'm sure everybody wants, because we're all friends, we're all neighbors, we all live here, we all want the best for our children, for ourselves. We need not only to work together, but we also need to realize that but trust comes from being involved, like Randy said, but not only just involved, but helping each other. I just had a thought that just left my head, but to get a pulse on what is happening, on how people think and how people feel, we have to get out of our vehicles at times. We have to go in and actually talk. We have to, and this isn't just once a month, once a year. It has to be continual. We have to have open conversations, honest conversations. We have to be approachable, not just approachable as, you know, I'm here, you know, what's your problem, what do you need. So where people feel comfortable to, if they have something that they need to discuss, to be able to walk up, hey, you know, I've got something I need to talk to you about, you know, my neighbor, whatever it is, and let's discuss this openly and honestly. To have each officer really care, and you want trust, you want to have caring, but to have each officer care about and proud about the badge they wear, and knowing that you are the people who give them that badge of trust. Thank you.
Law enforcement has to be trusted, and we have to do that ourselves. We say police the police. If any of us see anything that's going on wrong, we have a duty to report back to the authorities that can take care of that. We do, again, being community involved, community engaged, I think is so important, and especially with the youth. You know, whether it's lighting off or sending up rockets at Save Kids Fair, you make an impact on those kids at that early age. You know, the other thing is I don't care so much about how many citations are written, but I care about how many contacts are made. we have to make contacts with the public to know what is going on. And through those contacts, people get to know us. At the sheriff's office, we write about 7 warnings for every ticket that we issue. So you can see that we're not a Gestapo writing tickets, but we're gathering information. We're getting to know who you are. You know, as far as the range deputy position, that was gone a long, long time before I ever became sheriff. There's just not the funding for it. But what we have done in the last 3.5 years is we have what we call ranch contacts, where for no other reason the deputy goes out and contacts a rancher and just finds out what's going on and what if they've got any problems. In the last 3 years, we did over 226 of those ranch contacts. Now, that's not counting the ones that we were called there for a theft or, you know, things like that. That's just above and beyond that. So community involvement it's the only way to have effective law enforcement. Thank you.
You may have noticed we went out of order on that question, and I apologize for that. This will be the last question for the sheriff's office. I neglected to thank our timers, by the way. I should give them a hand round of applause. For the last question for the sheriff's office, and this was the most common question asked in some form or another of both the sheriff's office and the county commissioners. What is, can, and should be done to ensure that the eastern and western halves of Uena County have equality in attention, personnel, and resources?
Well, number one, definitely, all the officers need to work together, and we do, and we need to train together, and they do. Train-the-trainer program is something that I really like. Basically what that is officers can go to training, but then they can extend that training and actually become a trainer in that program, whatever, in law enforcement, whatever that specific kind might be. They can take that training and then train other officers outside and inside their agency. So everybody is on the same page. They know exactly what is needed to be done, what is done, and it enhances the officer's specialty. Now it would be great to have so many officers become trainers, become leading trainers in the region. And that would be a huge benefit to not only combining both Evanston side and Valley side, but it would, when officers are together, they know their reactions, they know what needs to happen and what will happen on whatever incident that they are on. It would be great to have meetings, and maybe just dinner meetings, or just get together where officers can let down their hair a little bit, and maybe invite their families. I know it's kind of just a social thing, but those are huge with people that you work with. They get to know who they are and what they are, just outside of their workplace. To understand not only their beliefs, but also understand their ethics and their morals and, just everything about them. And thank you.
It's one of those things that you wish you could say it was so and it would just be so. But it's a little more complicated than that. And I feel concerned that the Bridger Valley feels like maybe they're not served as well as sheriff's office as the Evanston side. I tell you that is not true. I read every sheriff's office report. I know what's going on and I am concerned about you. If we could hire people that could live in the Bridger Valley, we absolutely would do that. But Lyman pays more money, and so does Mountain View. And so they go to work for them instead of us. So it's not quite as easy as just saying that it should happen. But believe me when I tell you that I do hear you, I am concerned about that. You know, I think some of it has to be incumbent on you too. I'm telling you about, you know, 4 or 5 calls from River Valley to everyone from Evanston side. If there's something that's wrong, let me know. We will work together to fix it. It's so important that we are united. And I'll tell you another thing is that we only have 3 deputies that live in the River Valley, but the 3 deputies that do are the most dedicated they can be to their community. You know, and they work in the Evanston side too, but their concern is here. They get called out much more than the Evanston side deputies, and they never complain. They're more than willing to go take care of the problem at 2 in the morning. And so I do worry about burning them out, but I tell you, you are in good hands. Thank you.
I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, having lived out there and know what it feels like sometimes. And I can tell you that I have a pretty good idea of the area, the valley, and the people in it and stuff from the time that I spend out here now, which is not all the time. But I do spend a fair amount of time out here. And I spend a lot of time in Evanston. And I got to know a lot of people over there too. As a sheriff, I would regulate resources where they're needed. Out here in the valley, there's probably twice as many miles of county road that we patrol as there are on the Evanston side. We split the county in patrol areas legally. So, and it's a little bit more spread out over here than it is on the Evanston side. So I know what you're saying about feeling a little bit neglected, and that's why I say I'm going to spend a lot of time out here helping the deputies because we're under budget constraints. We don't have the manpower to just go out and wave a magic wand and hire 15 people and say, here you go, Bridget Valley, there's your 15 deputies. Have fun. The money's not there. So I plan on, as the sheriff, spending a lot of my time out here in the valley, and whoever I pick as my undersheriff or however I structure the agency will be spending a lot of their time out here too, when I'm not. So I do know that there needs to be a little bit more attention out here because it's spread out. There's more calls for service in the county areas in the valley than there are in Evanston because Evanston's a little bit smaller county-wise and not as spread out. And we have a lot more area out here that needs to be covered and attention, especially out in the ranching community. They want to see us out there. It needs to be high visibility and prevent crime, not wait for it to happen. Thank you.
We would like to thank all the sheriff's candidates for coming. We will now be transitioning to the assessor's office. While we're transitioning, we again want to thank the town for helping us with our location here. If some of you can stay around and help clean up after the assessors, it would be good. As long as it's not campaign related.
I just want to thank everybody for coming. Thanks to the chamber and the town for providing this. Thank you.